Good morning, folks. It's a beautiful fall day uh, here at the farm. Nice hot cup of coffee. But what brings me here to this video is everything that's going on, and there's so much conflict politically that people are allowing it to consume them and allow it to erode friendships and family relations. And what I'd like to talk today about is forgiving and moving on. Um, I think it's one thing that's lacking, and no matter what your theological beliefs are, one thing, even with every culture, is forgiveness. It's a difficult thing because it's hard to forgive somebody that's wronged you or done something that's contradictory or judged you or for any number of reasons. But if we let that consume us and dictate how we go through life, we end up becoming miserable and on guard all the time. And that in itself is not healthy, it's not enjoyable, and it limits us to what we can experience. We don't have to believe what everybody else believes. Nobody is actually, or nobody should be saying that we have to believe what they believe, and it's the only right thing to believe. But what we have to do is we have to begin accepting other people's opinions and thoughts and thought processes. And sometimes those thought processes are contradictory to what we think, and we tend to judge on that. To me, my own personal belief is it's not my place to judge. And I've really done a little bit of soul searching here over the last week or so about judging and breaking relationships, and we're often taught to turn the other cheek. Well, it's okay to turn the other cheek, and it's okay to protect and guard ourselves, because when you're whacked on the head repeatedly and nothing changes in another party, then at some point we have to cut our losses and move away. Not everybody's going to have the same value systems. That's what makes us unique. That's what sets us apart from other cultures. But when we have to come to a point where we respect each other's own opinions, and we don't have to believe their opinion or their value system, but be respectful of it. If it doesn't reciprocate, then there's a problem. So, moving forward, I'm not saying that you have to drop your guard if somebody's wronged you or done something to make you angry. We have to give them a little bit of room to prove themselves to us and show us that they respect our opinions and values, but it has to reciprocate, and reciprocate's the key word. And reciprocating would give them that little room to prove themselves, but we have to prove ourselves to them as well, that we're listening to them and we're not judging them and we're not trying to change them. And when they prove that they are moving forward and accepting the difference, then we can give them a little more room and trust them a little bit more. And each step is trust, better trust. Don't let politics totally dictate how you go through life and what you enjoy in life. Yeah, it's a convoluted process. Yeah, we vote for people who hold our same value systems, and act on our best interest. And that's okay. But also understand that there's others out there who believe in different things than we do, and that's what dictates their actions. I think the common core of everybody, right and left, is the plain and simple fact that we have a say, and sometimes our say may not be the popular belief, but when we have the ability to speak our minds and believe what we believe, that it has to push over into politics. So, here I go in the political uh, discussion, but I'm going to keep it very simple and straightforward. If we, as an individual, don't practice what we preach and what we believe, then how then do we hold our politicians accountable? If we're not honest in our dealings and honest in what we believe in and honest in our relationships, but yet we scrutinize these politicians who are in Washington, D.C. and representing us, and they're not doing what we ask or what we wish to be done, then how do we hold them accountable? How do we reason the fact that they're respectable? We don't really have a right to say, well, he's not doing this, or he's dishonest in his dealings, if we're not honest in our dealings. So don't be afraid to convey that to those that we ask to elect, to go sit in a political office and represent us, if we're not believing that ourselves and we're not living that ourselves. Those are just a few thoughts I've had, that maybe it's time we all give each other a chance, give them a little bit of room to prove themselves, and allow them to give us a little bit of room and prove ourselves to each other, that we can go back to a time of mutual respect that allows us to agree to disagree and move on and still break bread and still maintain a friendship and still be able to maintain a relationship with those with differing opinions. To me, that's the core of diversity. That's the core of learning new things. That's how things used to be, and that's how things need to be. And that's what makes things here in our country unique. In all the years I've traveled throughout the world, I've never seen the acceptance of differing views like I have here in this country. And it's gotten worse over the last 10 years to where we don't accept anybody who doesn't believe what we believe. We don't like, or we distance ourselves from people who disbelieve what we believe. So we've become, much like some of these other third world countries and dictatorships and countries that have mass issues with everything from fiscal issues to laws and discrimination. And I strongly urge anybody who is dissuaded and discouraged with our climate of things that are happening in our country, go travel. Go travel. Go travel to other places, simple places that are you would think would be similar to us, like Europe. Asia, some of these places, even some places in South America, it's completely different. What you can and can't do is completely different. So consider yourself fortunate. Talk to those who have traveled, people in the military, people in business, and ask them what they've experienced overseas. And you're going to be quite surprised at what some of the things they tell you. Don't believe what the media tells you. Do your homework, do your research. Don't take one outlet, left as the gospel or right as the gospel. Take each side, listen to what they say, look at what they're reporting, and usually it falls somewhere in between, right in the middle. So, that being said, get out there, live life, enjoy days like this that are bluebird skies, the cool morning, a warm cup of joe, and take time to look around and smell the roses, because you're going to find that there's so much peace, relaxation, and beauty surrounding you that it's going to reset you and it's going to change your attitude. It has certainly changed mine to where there's a simple saying that my dad used to tell me every once in a while was, you know what? Don't sweat the small stuff. And you know what? It's all small stuff. Change what you can change, accept what you can't change, and move on. Take care of yourself, live right, treat others well, and we'll see you on the next video.